Hi everyone, thank you for coming my presentation. I can see new faces in this online program. This online program is designed for the young people and young students to exchange information in the field of aerospace between the Republic of Korea and the United Arab Emirates. For those students who don't know me, let me introduce myself. My name is Jui Lee, the principal researcher of the Space Exploration Division in Korea Aerospace Research Institute. The Korea Aerospace Research Institute uses the first letters of an English word and it is called KARI. In my presentation today, I'll present the competitiveness of Korean space development and the direction of human resources development in the field of aerospace. I'll focus on the prospect of the new space era and competitiveness of the Korean space development and the plan for fostering the manpower in the field of aerospace. This presentation is not an easy topic, but I think you can understand if you look at the presentation materials carefully. Okay. Next part is the content. Today my talk is divided in three parts. At the first part, I would like to introduce the research and development activities in KARI. And secondly, I'd like to talk about the prospect of the new space era in Korea. In the last part, I'll tell you the summary of my presentation and show the video files for Vision 2040 of KARI. Next slide is the roadmap figure. Shows the Korea's third basic plans for space development promotion from 2018 to 2020 for 5 years. This space development promotion plan is updated every 5 years, and there are some important plans in here. You can see the launch of the KSLV-2 Nuri right here in 2021, and the Lunar Exploration Plan 2022 right here. Based on this successful mission, we are preparing for the full-scale exploration of the deep space explorations. Although satellite and rocket launch dates are often delayed for many regions, but the development of satellite and rocket in Korea is generally successful in launching and operating them. This part is the mission and major functions of KARI. As you may know, KARI was established in 1989 as a government-funded research institute under the Ministry of Science and ICT. And after more than 25 years of research and development activities in space areas, KARI was designated as a National Space Development Organization in 2016. As a specialized organization for space development, it can be said that KARI plays a key role in the overall field of space, which represent 4 major functions such as research and development of aircraft, satellite, and launch vehicle systems, supporting of national aerospace policies, and certifying the aerospace technologies, and lastly, dissemination of its R&D result. Okay, this part is the main research and development facilities of KARI. This part shows the main research and development facilities in Kari. Kari's R&D facilities are located in first site. Here in Daejeon headquarters, all of satellite-related facilities such as satellite test centers, satellite ground station are located in these areas. And Naro Space Center and Gohung Aviation Center are located in the south part of Korean Peninsula, and Jeju Tracking Station in the Jeju Island. Naro Space Center is the nation's solo space launch site, where successful launch of the Korea's first space launch vehicle, called the KSLV-1, was conducted, as well as ongoing tests are being conducted for the development follow-up of the launchers. It has major facilities for the development and launch of space vehicles, such as launch site, mission operation centers, and tracking facilities. Also, operate a separate tracking station on Jeju Island to continue tracking the launcher trajectory in the event of launch. Okay, I'll tell you R&D achievement of Kari. In satellite area, since the first launch of Korea multipurpose satellite one in 1991, Kari has been developing a total of 10 low Earth orbit and geosynchronous orbit satellites so far. And now 6 of these satellites, such as COMSAT-3, COMS, and GK2A and 2B, are operating in orbit. COMS stand for the Communication, Oceanography, and Meteorology Satellite, that is GEO satellite. As a follow-up, COMS, GK2A, and 2B, which has a meteorological payload, was successfully put into orbit last December 2019 and February 2020. As for the development of launch vehicle, right here, we launched the Korean sounding rocket three times from 1993 to 2002. And based on these previous experience, Kari successfully completed the launch of Korean space launch vehicle in 2013. And test launch vehicle equipped with 75-ton engine, core engine of KSLV-2 was also launched last November, which we are expecting the maiden flight of KSLV-2 to be carried out in 2021. In this slide, you can see the satellite under development at this moment. Compact advanced satellite, we call it the CSA, CAS, is basic optical satellite, which is to secure the medium-sized standard platform of 500 kilogram class satellite. COMSAT-6 is follow-up radar satellite that is scheduled to be launched in 2021. And COMSAT-7 is the next generation with high resolution EO payload, less than 30 centimeters in panchromatic, which will be launched in 2021. Also, for the next geostationary satellite, two sets of GeoCOMSAT satellites were developed simultaneously, with the first one being launched 2018, as I mentioned before, and the remaining one carrying ocean environment payload launched this year. Next part is Korea Space Launch Vehicle part. This part is for the Korea Space Launch Vehicle 2. We call it Nuri launch vehicles. The second generation of Korea Space Launch Vehicle, which is capable of launching 1.5-ton satellite, is being developed in our own facilities. The KSLV-2 is a three-stage launch vehicle consisting of one stage with a four set of 75-ton engine, a 75-ton liquid engine for the second stage, and a 7-ton liquid engine for the third stage. This launch vehicle is aiming for the first launch in 2021, and as you may know, we succeeded the test launch of its 75-ton engine last November. Oh, this part is a space exploration part. In conjunction with the ongoing R&D project, CARI is gearing up for space explorations, focus on the robotic lunar mission by developing a Korea Pathfinder lunar orbiter. We call it a KPLO, which is scheduled to be launched in 2022. As a follow-up to this project, Korea is planning to launch a lunar lander by 2030. An asteroid sample return is envisioned in the 2030s after the successful completion of the lunar project. Also, according to the National Basic Plan, Korea will be moving forward with space exploration by using microsatellite, and various studies on space science will be conducted along the way. Okay, that is related to lunar explorations. This computer graphic video is designed to contribute to young people's understanding of a lunar Pathfinder mission in 2022 and the plan for the lunar lander mission to be carried out before 2030s. If you watch this video, you can easily understand the process of the lunar exploration missions. Okay, let's see this computer graphic videos. Okay, from this part, I'll explain the manned space exploration programs. The Korean astronaut project was carried out from 2005 to 2008. It was carried out 3 years. The purpose of this project, as you may know, was to acquire manned technologies related to astronaut and space experiment, and to inspire young young student with dreams and hopes for space. The first Korean astronaut, Dr. Soyeon Lee, was selected out of 36,000 applicants in 2006 and trained with backup astronaut Mr. Go and Gagarin Cosmonaut Training Center in Russia during 2007. And on April 8, 2008, Dr. Soyeon Lee was lifted up at Baikonur Cosmodrome and made 10 days of space flight and performed 18 kinds of space experiments successfully, and then returned to Earth. Astronaut Dr. Soyeon Lee successfully conducted 18 domestic and 3 kinds of overseas collaborative space experiments, even though it was her first space flight. Space experiments were conducted in various fields, including life science, medical science, material science, physics, Earth observations, and education field. You can see the Dr. Soyeon's pictures in here. And this slide, in this slide, you can see the various kinds of space experiments that astronaut Dr. Soyeon Lee conducted. According to the Dr. Lee, there were too many kinds of space experiments at the time, so she was quite busy on the international space stations. Okay, this video shows that astronaut Dr. E is staying on the International Space Station and having dinner with Korean space food developed by Korean food companies. At the time, many Korean food companies participated in the development of space food and showed their skills. You can see that Dr. E is eating fried kimchi and Korean rice. And when you eat in space, you should enjoy it, but don't play pranks.
따뜻한 밥을 먹기 위해서 밥을 탔습니다.
손가락이 지금 쉬긴 하겠는데.
This slide shows the space environment utilization part of KARI. Based on the Korean astronaut project, Korea is conducting research on various space experiments for scientific research and industrial utilization using microgravity environment. KARI has been working hard to develop manned space experiment technologies since the Korean astronaut project in 2008. KARI considered 2 areas as major part and conducted researches on related experiment field. One area is biotechnology related to the manned space exploration, and the other part is combustion science in the fundamental physics. The field of biotechnology is aimed at supporting humans' safe space exploration on the microgravity environment in the future, and combustion experiments are also aimed at understanding the combustion characteristics and at preventing fire problems in manned space explorations. As part of CARI's major research project, CARI has developed a cell culture device system to prevent muscle atrophy in a microgravity environment, and a combustion experiment device for understanding combustion characteristics since 2010. As you can see here, the cell culture system, so-called automatic bioreactor, was developed for joint research with JAXA in Japan, but it did not go as far as a space experiment on the International Space Station. Okay, next part is the combustion science experiment using the microgravity environment utilizations. Okay, I'll explain about the development of combustion experimental equipment system. This combustion experimental device was developed for scientific purpose to understand the characteristics of combustion in a microgravity environment. In 2016, we started the developing of the equipment by jointly analyzing the data of the International Space Station combustion experiment with NASA. The development of combustion chamber, combustion module, and control system of combustion module was carried out for 3 years. In 2018, this combustion experimental equipment, combustion chamber, and combustion module was mounted on a parabolic flight airplane of Geology Company in the United States to conduct the combustion experiment. During the experiment of combustion equipment mounted on a parabolic flight airplane, we have observed the cold flame phenomenon that can be observed in microgravity environment, such as on the International Space Station. We also added automated control system to this combustion experiment equipment, like cell culture system, to make it easier to conduct experiment in a microgravity environment. Through this equipment development, we were able to obtain the technology of automated combustion experimental equipment that can be utilized in a microgravity environment. This slide shows the combustion experiment chambers on a parabolic flight airplanes. You can see the one engineers in here, CARI engineer, or on the right of this image as checking the combustion equipment. In this slide, you can see the images of combustion experiment in various atmospheric pressure and gravitational changes. The first and second images, video images on the left side are images of the moment of the ignition occurs. And the third one, right in here, the researchers are dealing with the combustion experiment equipment in the microgravity conditions. The last picture right in here below shows that researchers and engineers are tired of parabolic flight, Private flight is fun at first time, but number of flight increase, you can feel the dizzy, and in severe case, you may throw up. Well, guys, it's really tired right in here. Okay, this is the perspective of the new space era. I'll tell you about what is the next step, our space explorations. I have just talked about a wide range of space, aerospace field, but now we are going to look at what we are going to do in new space era. In the future, I think the industrial use of space environment will increase, and the human stay using in situ resource utilization will increase on the Moon and Mars explorations. Therefore, I hope that young people or young students who want to work in the aerospace field will be able to see the growth of these potential areas. In the aviation sectors, research on personal air vehicle and research to dramatically increase speed of airplane are on the way. In space exploration, human beings are planning to explore the Moon and Mars. Therefore, if people want to stay on the Moon and Mars, I think there is a great potential growth in the area of residence, clothing, such as space suit, space food development, and so on. In this new space era, I would like you to choose a field where you can look at the changing times from the age of astronauts exploration to the age of citizens space tourism. Now I'm going to talk about the changes in aerospace, including space launch systems, satellite, aircraft, and space exploration. Changes in aerospace are taking place with new technologies that are affordable, precise, and can be used more quickly based on existing technologies. As shown in this slide picture, the space launch system sector uses the first stage reusable rocket and vertical takeoff and landing technology to dramatically reduce launch cost to about 1/10 of what it used to be. These technologies are being developed and utilized by SpaceX and Blue Origin in the United States. In the field of satellite, technologies for improving the observational resolution of Earth's observational satellite payloads and multi-wave spectroscopy have been attempted. In addition, changes such as the establishment of a global internet network are being attempted through formation flight using small satellite. In the aircraft sector, the development of electric propulsion aircraft is being promoted to address global climate change acceleration and noise problems. The Korea Aerospace Research Institute, CARI, is also participating in the research through the development of unmanned aerial vehicle technology in the stratosphere. Also, the development of hypersonic planes is on the way to make the world a one-day living zone. Now, just as we use our own cars, research and development is on the way to create an era of personal aircraft use. From now on, I think there will be a day when we can go to the place we want to go quickly and conveniently using PAV. As you can see in the slide, the technology to combine drone with objects worn on our body, such as watches and glasses, is also rapidly developing. Amazon, the world's largest e-commerce company, is developing a delivery drone prime air service, which is being studied to deliver within 30 minutes of delivery within 16 kilometers of the warehouse. Companies such as DHL, Alibaba, and Medonet are also participating in drone development and flight testing for delivery service. In the field of space exploration, we are also studying photon-based space cell propulsion system, fusion propulsion system, and hybrid rocket propulsion systems. Space hotels, which have evolved from space exploration to space utilization, are being studied by private companies. Space solar power system for effective use of solar energy and space elevator for easy access to space have also become research areas in the new era of space exploration. Now I'm going to look at the changes in the space industry and wrap up my presentation today. According to the STEPI report, space development, which began in the 1950s, began with the military race between the United States and the Soviet Union. This situation continued until the 1980s, and from then until the 2000s, each country government-led space development was carried out. Since the 2000s, private aerospace companies have been growing. Many companies and startup companies are participating in space development and industrial utilization of space. Now, from 2020 onward, we predict that under this foundation, the true private space industry will grow and create a new market. In this situation, I think young people will have more opportunities to participate in space development. A new space era is coming, more than you think, and I think the main hero of this era are you, young people in here. When you grow up, I'd like you to combine your ideas with the aerospace sector to create a new space industry. Let's wrap up by watching the next video. This slide shows the vision of aerospace field that we want to make around 2040s. I hope you can make dreams and visions through watching these videos.
Aerospace science technology is transforming the world. The year 2040. The future will become a global economy built on aerospace, and humanity will expand its territory to the skies and outer space. Korea Aerospace Research Institute, KARI, is developing aerospace technology to realize a new era by 2040. KARI is doing its utmost to develop launch vehicles to secure independent space carrying capacity and to venture into the global satellite launch services market. First, KARI seeks to develop a Korean-made rocket that can launch a 1.5-ton multi-purpose satellite into Earth's lower orbit, thus building a solid foundation to have our own space technology, global competitiveness with our launch vehicles, and make inroads in the global satellite launch services market. Further along down the road, building on the previous achievements in satellite technology, KARI will venture into the global satellite development market. Currently, we have developed the KARI Solution, a catalog for exporting satellite technology. By exporting satellites, image information, satellite testing, and operation technologies, KARI will contribute to national economic growth. Moreover, we will usher in the age of unmanned solar system exploration by developing probes for the Moon, asteroids, and Mars. In the aircraft sector, we will develop mid-size, mid-range transports and a long-range hypersonic transport. Based on such technologies, we will be able to release personal air vehicles and spaceplanes that are reusable and can take off and land multiple times. An every first world country is actively investing in this industry. Now, to realize the global economy and the future aerospace industry, we need to go for sustainable development by focusing on R&D with efficient budget planning. To this end, we need active investment by the government with national support and improvement of core R&D to increase the per capita space budget from 5,000 won to 20,000 won. Until the day Korea becomes an aerospace powerhouse of the 21st century, we will continue our unrelenting efforts to conquer the skies and outer space.
Okay, this is the end of my presentation. I explained about various aerospace research areas. I think the process of space exploration and space development plan are very similar between United Arab Emirates and Korea. The fact that we still have a lot of researches to do in the aerospace field. I think we have a great opportunity to develop that areas. And please let me know if there is anything wrong or with my explanation. In the future, I hope that you become an expert in each of your favorite field. Thank you for your attention.